Hi, sixth grade. How are ya? I'm sitting here with my dog Peanut, um, and I'm ready to introduce week 2 on your 2-point perspective drawing lesson. So, last week we made boxes in space. Most of you did a pretty good job on that. I tried to give feedback to individual students who maybe struggled a little bit, but I'm kind of going to go over that again in the beginning part of this lesson. So this week we'll start the main drawing, which is going to be sort of a scene with a bunch of houses on it, all drawn in 2-point perspective. So I'll be doing a drawing myself and kind of talking over it. So, please email me if you need help or if you're struggling with this. You just have to remember every horizontal line pretty much goes to one of the vanishing points. So check out the video, and I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. You can use the Google form to submit. And again, um, I know we're all doing the best we can, so no worries. But I think most people have a really good handle on 2-point perspective. So check this out, and I can't wait to see what you draw. Miss you guys. Bye. So today's lesson is going to just build on what we did last week, which is drawing rectangular prisms in space using 2-point perspective. Your final drawing will look a little bit like this, with a bunch of houses scattered around and some in the background in the hills. So the first thing you're going to do is need to get a piece of paper. Like I said, it can be any paper. You'll need a ruler and a pencil. It doesn't have to be a ruler. It can be any straight edge. You're going to go ahead and fold your paper like we did last week, so you have a nice straight horizon line, and add 2 vanishing points on either side of that paper. Every time you start to draw a house from your scene, the first thing you're going to do is that vertical line. It should be perfectly vertical. It should be parallel to the edges of your paper. All right? If you want, you can put 2 little dots on the top and bottom of that line. Then you're going to line up your ruler from that point to the vanishing point. Okay? It's all right if you draw the whole line as a guideline. You can erase it later. Okay? But the lines need to go all the way to those vanishing points. Okay? When you draw the left and right corners of your house, those lines have to be perfectly vertical. They have to be parallel to that first line that you drew and parallel to your page. Then you can see from the tops of those lines, you're going to go back to the opposite vanishing point. Okay? For the back of the house. Now that back corner where they intersect, that will be the back corner. Now we're going to put a roof on the house. So to find the roof point, you want to find the middle of that line at the bottom, okay? And draw straight up from that, and then draw your triangle. I'll be doing this more times than just this time. But basically you find the middle of the side of the house where the roof is, where the gable's going to be, the gable of the roof, and then you go ahead and use your vanishing points. Okay, now to finish off the roof, you need a diagonal line that's parallel to that first one that you drew. So you could just slide your ruler on over. So now we've got a house shape, right? It's just a rectangular prism like you did last week with a roof on it. Let's do another one. Again, we start off with a perfectly vertical line. Those 2 lines that I just drew go to that vanishing point. Okay, they have to line up with the vanishing point. Now I'm going to draw 2 more. Okay? Right? So now, to draw the sides of the house, I need to draw a line that's perfectly vertical. That's the one thing that maybe a couple people struggled with. Sometimes these lines got a little crooked, but they really need to be vertical, parallel to all the other ones. You're going to go to the opposite vanishing point to find that back corner. Okay, where those 2 lines intersect, that's going to be the back corner of the house. To draw the roof, you find the middle of the side. You can use the bottom line. This time I'll draw a little line straight up. That's just a guideline. That's going to be the peak of the triangle for the roof. Okay? Then I'm going to take that peak, a line from that peak, go back to the opposite vanishing point to finish off the roof, a line, a diagonal line that's parallel to the first one. Okay? The house that I drew first is closest to the viewer, so I kind of drew that one a little bigger, right? This one is a little bit smaller. So let's draw one above the horizon line. Those first 2 were below the horizon line. Gonna do it the same way. Draw a vertical line, perfectly vertical, right? and then go from the top and the bottom of that line to my vanishing points. Okay? Finish off the sides of the house with lines that are vertical, parallel to that first line. Okay? We're not going to draw the bottom of the house because that's going to be where the hillside is. But to do the roof, it's the same thing. Find the middle of the side where you want the roof, draw the triangle, and then add a line that's parallel. I can see very, very little of this roof because that house is so high. So my perspective is different. All right, let's draw another one. So always, always, always start off with a perfectly vertical line. Draw your lines to the left vanishing point. Draw your lines to the right vanishing point. And obviously this video is a little bit sped up. I don't usually draw that quickly. Finish off the sides of the house, right? This time I'll draw the roof on this side. So I found the middle of that line, draw a guideline up. That becomes the peak of your triangle. Then you line up that peak of the triangle with the opposite vanishing point and finish off with a diagonal line. So I'm just doing the same thing over and over again. Okay? For your drawing, I would like you to draw at least 5 houses. If you want to draw more, be my guest. I wouldn't draw too many, but I'd say, you know, somewhere between 5 and 10. You can draw, you know, this will end up being a little village. We're going to add some color. We'll add doors and windows and other details. But for today and this week, I just want you to get the house structures down. Again, it's the same thing every time. Start with the corner of the house that's closest to you. Use your vanishing points. Here's one that's on the horizon line, overlapping. So this house is going to be behind the ones that are in the foreground, the one that's in the foreground. Okay? So you're going to use those perfectly vertical lines. Find the middle on one side for the roof. Okay? Use that opposite vanishing point and then a line that's parallel to that first diagonal line to finish off the roof. All right? Once you have your houses, however many you want, at least 5, and I would definitely have some below the horizon line and some above the horizon line, and if you want one on the horizon line, we're going to go ahead and draw those hills so those houses aren't floating. Or maybe you want your houses floating on a cloud. That's okay too. So I'm adding just some hillside lines. You can erase your guidelines. Okay? I'm going to add a horizon line, kind of a wavy line that matches the rest. So that's basically what we're doing this week. It's just building on what we did last week, okay? And using your vanishing points. Any line that would normally be horizontal is going to go to one of the vanishing points. I think I'm adding a road. I can show you how to do that next time. Just to add something in the bottom of my drawing. The bottom of the drawing looks a little bit empty. Okay? So, please reach out to me if you need any help. Here again is what we're sort of going for in the end. And I can't wait to see what you draw. Take care.